with an interesting fireside chat on urban living and urban challenges, prioritizing family and well-being. So join Jamuna Vignesh, Dinesh Chand, and Anand K for an engaging discussion on balancing urban pressures and with family and personal wellness. So I request the speakers to please get on the stage. So put your hands together for second day because it was a great lunch. We owe that. Yeah. Thank you. And as the moderator, we have Rajita Chaudhary. Yeah, over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Some more energy? If the biryani was so great, great. So I know people are still trickling in, but in the interest of time, we would love to start this discussion. The session seems to be a bit serious, a topic, but worth discussing. Uh, there's a recent incident around death of a young professional that sparked a lot of debate in the country worldwide. There were a lot of actions taken, a lot of discussions happened, a lot of pledges taken. And today with our distinguished speakers, we would also be discussing about what are the challenges of urban living and how do we prioritize our own well-being. So please give a warm round of welcome to Jamuna, Dinesh, and Anand. Thank you. So we'll start with you, Anand. Uh, you have been working in the financial industry, and somehow this industry is also known for a lot of challenges. And even if we look at the data, statistics say urban population is more prone to mental issues, stress issues, roughly more than double, like around 13% is urban stress, and the rural areas is as low as 6%. So what do you think about the kind of challenges urban professionals face? And is it just us as professionals, or do you think this is much more widespread a problem?
All right. So, first of all, thanks, Ruchita, for just setting up the stage and the context. So, what I would say that this problem of urban challenges, is a widespread problem. It's not only which is predominant in certain sectors or industries, but I believe it's for every individual who is just a bread earner for his family or their family, and who has some roles and responsibility to, attain not only individually but for their family. So, and when I say individuals, it's not only about he or she or like men or women. It is also about you know, uh, the emerging diversity. So the problem is same for everyone. Now the problem which I would like to just talk about the urban challenges basically. So if I just point it out with multiple pointers, like what are the basic urban challenges which is faced by these individuals, then I would say that everything starts in a sequential manner once, the students or we come out of college and we are looking for a job, right? So it basically starts with, finding a house, over there in, urban cities. High standard of living. After that, it gradually moves to the commute and environmental challenges. Next, it moves to, you know, uh, specifically in the world of influencers and followers, we actually try to find our, God figure. So whom I can actually imitate, and after that, what particular path I should follow so that I can reach to the heights in a very rapid manner. The fourth stage that comes is specifically that you get into a job competition or specifically a rapid career growth path. And when everything happens in the mid, you actually get into a certain stage where you are getting work-life imbalance, and then actually you get into social isolation, and finally it impacts your health. So as I've told all these 7 or 6 points, let me actually give you a proper, justification so that actually everyone can relate. So what happens basically when a student comes out as a fresher and he or she or they get a job and they lands into urban cities, the first problem that they face is to find a proper place to live. And you know, the problem starts from there. You are having a 3 lakh or 4 lakh package, and that's a general thing that in fact every fresher in India gets right now. I'm not talking about exceptions. Yes, exceptions are everywhere, but we are talking specifically about the general category. So this is where the stage starts. And you find that almost 50 to 60% of your money is just going in your living. And it's not about just paying your rents. It's about you go for transportation, you go for food, you go for basic necessities. Everything is in skyrocketing price over there in metro cities. Once you find that, okay, I have to adjust in this particular amount, of money, then you actually go and find some place which is far away from your workplace. And this is how the second problem kicks in, the commute problem. And I need not to explain these things over there, specifically in Bangalore, how commute is the biggest challenge over here. Once you are there at a far away place where you are commuting almost for 1 and 2 hours at a day, or specifically if you are talking for to and fro, it takes 3 to 4 hours. And you get into a particular vicinity where there is there is no greenery around. You are facing pollution, and everyday travel is actually taking up your more time. And this is how you are actually giving up your me time, and you are feeling crushed after the end of the day. Now, this thing actually starts. And after 2 to 3 years, when you realize, okay, I am already compromising a lot of things, I need to do something, then your actual struggle starts. Then you feel that, okay, let me see if that is a problem just with me, or is it with others also? Now the observation and reaction phase starts. Then you see that, okay, this person in my team is having a very great life. How he or she or they are doing it. And then the copy stage starts, and as a part of a reaction, you find that how I can solve it. And from there, what you start, you are getting into competition. And in competition stage, you find what skills should I have so that I get rapid money flow in my life. I can actually have a great lifestyle. I can have everything in my life. And from that particular stage, your stress starts. The pressure to maintain that particular lifestyle and the pressure to grow big into career at a very rapid manner. From there, what you actually bring in, you are working a lot in your offices. You are working a lot, and this is how it is eating your time. You are straining your personal relationships, family relationships. This is how you are not going to make a meaningful connection outside of your work life. This is how you go into a social isolation. And social isolation, once you go into, this is how it is impacting your health. So everything is there in the chain. And as we said, that this is all about urban professionals. Everybody, you can relate to this particular fact once you have started your journey, but this is less discussed thing. Everyone feels that, okay, this is something, it is as it is. Everyone will have to face it if you want success in your life. So this is one of the basic points that I wanted to just raise. And this is something that we need to discuss. And this is one of the major problems that everyone faces around the globe.
Yeah, very true. And then we many times just brush it off saying it's all adulthood challenges or welcome to corporate. But these are the actual challenges that a lot of us face and are able to relate to. But coming to Jamuna, like these challenges do exist, but we as women have always more to add.
Yes, definitely I would say for that. So, taking cue from what Anand has just spoken, yes, urbanization has definitely given in a lot of changes in the family dynamics, I can say. And with respect to that, so for the new age working moms, it is really very difficult. Meaning to say that in the urban household, if you see, 67% of the household is of nuclear families. So which again increases an additional responsibilities for new age working moms. So which puts in a unrealistic pressure with respect to their family time as well as with their career duties also. So there is a constant pressure with them. Apart from this, if you take, there is even a childcare challenge. This goes without saying for working mothers. So along with childcare, it is the elderly care that also cannot be like neglected in the family, because once you are away from your near and dear ones, you are like very much dependent on your close ones who are there with you. So in case if they need some help, it is only you can help. There's nobody else who's going to come for that. So apart from that, there is even this social isolation also, because women are like constantly into their routine of their day-to-day work and their household. So there is no me time that is actually left for them. So this in turn, what it happens is it increases the stress in oneself. So this is also one of the major contributors, I can say. And then there is security concerns. and there is health issues with respect to women because coming to an urban area and urban lifestyle and all these related issues, this again raises a concern for health issues like diabetes and so many other things. So even this is also something that we have to look into it.
Yeah, very true again, because it's the societal setup that adds to the challenges that anyone else would be facing, but more for women somewhere.
And one more thing I would like to add, and even the constant pressure to excel in one's career also.
Yeah, that's constantly there.
That is always, and the feeling of FOMO also is there. So constantly they have to keep striving.
Yeah. And with this, I'd like to ask Dinesh now, because he has been working for more than 2 decades in this industry, and like he talks a lot about mental health and emphasizes a lot on the mental well-being. Uh, but you work with different demographics like juniors, seniors. What kind of symptoms we as colleagues or corporates or organizations or individuals start seeing that these are the symptoms that the person is getting impacted? Like, what do you see there is?
And thank you for that question. Even though I'm 2 decades in the industry, I'm not that old. So, and so what I have observed, and whenever I was talking to these individuals, what I have observed is that there are two types of symptoms. One is pre-stress, or when people start seeing that issues, mental health related issues. There's pre and post symptoms. So pre-symptoms wherein you start seeing people who have isolated themselves. One of the areas which has been widespread in across experience levels is people experiencing an area which is whatever they were liking earlier, they have stopped doing that or liking that. So um, that is one place which is common. So um, there there are issues with clocking wherein people stretch, start working late, and things like that. Then comes their constraints wherein people with skill issues, they are onto the wrong place at the wrong time and things like that. We see issues with that. Now, this is pre, wherein people start doing extra in order to cope for something like
The early
FOMO.
signs that we
Yes,
see.
early signs. Then comes the actual signs which actually reflects, or which actually comes when you slog or when you start clocking a lot. Then you see people suddenly taking more leaves. People don't feel, they feel fatigue. They're not, their energy level drops. So these are, and most of the things, and this is where all of us, working professional, we have to so pay attention to our colleagues who are sitting next to us. If you feel that they are isolating themselves and getting away from socializing, that is the warning signals. And we as the colleagues, we are the first layer who sees it at the first time. We need to go there, we need to ask, we need to, we need to tell them about things that they were doing earlier and they were not doing now. So I think I was hearing to both Anand and to Jamuna. What I realize is there are a lot of challenges, and we agree to it. But I think it is about self-care that we are talking about. Now, what I realize is each one of us sitting here in this room, we all have a dream, and we work towards, and we have certain expectation from our dream. Now, the dream in turn has only one and one expectation from us, and that is when we meet, when the dreams meet you, you have to be at your best of your health. So start taking care of yourself. I think we talk a lot about self-love, okay? Prioritizing ourselves, which is important. Yeah, that's all.
Great, like we talked about self-love, but do you think other than like individuals, like the other organization or like groups that should be also looking for these signals, how can they contribute towards solving for these challenges?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we are not talking about solutions. We start talking about problem. Um, I believe in this case, in this very specific case, the individual in question has to help themselves has to understand few things. So that is to start with, that is the first place. Now, the closest to them is their colleagues, their line managers. I'll come to the community support system because that includes organization, that includes your local administration and things like that, your family too. But I think the immediate colleagues, they are the first one who should come forward, help them. The managers, we need the first level of managers has to spend time with these colleagues, setting up the scope, goals for them. Now, and there are various things that we can talk about. There is a very long list of items that we can go that these guys should do. So we should have now there are many organizations like HSBC and there are many other organizations who have started socializing, advertising about spreading awareness about mental health issues, and that is being going on these big organizations for a very long time now. But this has to be propagated to the smaller units too. One thing that the message to the senior leadership sitting here is that we all are here to work, to make money, to do something. But if we have to embrace the growth, we have to preserve the humanity. So that is what we need to think about.
Yeah. And it's not like apart from individuals and organizations, because of the recent survey that was done, economic survey, still 10.6% of Indian adult population is under these issues. So government is also coming up with a lot of like these mental health policies, support groups, centers where individuals and like other organizations which don't have that kind of setup can reach out to. But Anand, since we all are into technology, how can technology be leveraged to find these solutions?
No, that's a great question. In fact, we are in a particular stage where AI is there everywhere, right? And we are actually leveraging this particular technology in such a manner that I'm not sure what is the future of AI going to be, but as it is still evolving, we are actually seeing the potential in almost every area. And as we are talking about, the mental health, urban living and challenges over there, and being a technologist is also one of my, preferred area where we should come out of solutions or almost like products which can actually help, in a better manner in these areas. So I'll talk first about, the proactive prevention. So basically, the starking figures, specifically the statistics, as you already mentioned, right? Like the urban area professionals are actually getting into this type of mental issues and all these things in a very early stage. And if you see from the perspective of millennials who are already into their mid-career or the senior career, they are actually having this at a later stage of time. But it is very predominant in the case of the freshers who are just coming out of the college and looking for the startup type of thoughts, entrepreneurial minds. So there are a lot of things that we can do from AI perspective. Definitely, if I just bracket it from proactive prevention, then detection and solving it through the strategies. So the first thing I would say that social isolation is one of the profound issues that is actually causing these health challenges. So if we can just find certain technology or a solution which can actually help us to stay away from this social isolation, that will be a bigger benefit. Now, specifically when we are talking about urban cities, there is a large mass that actually comes from tier 3, tier 4 cities, towns and villages. And the biggest barrier over there that you'll find is language and communication. So utilizing AI, if we can come out with certain solution where you can actually break this barrier of communicating with others, making connection over there, then actually that is one of the stage where you can privilege yourself, or you can actually accelerate yourself to have some social connects. And once you are having your local social connects, this is something where you'll be getting consistent support. And once you are having this consistent support, definitely these things can actually help you to not go at that stage where you'll be stressed, you'll be having pressure, you'll have the problem to do things by yourself. The second thing that where we can actually leverage AI, and specifically from the protection perspective, this is based on a particular, stats again. So if anyone might have heard about the recent statistics that was provided by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare of India along with WHO, that is a very, surprising figure. Like for almost 860 plus patients or the population, there is just one doctor in India. And God forbid that situation doesn't come that we all of them are just getting sick. But think from a proper statistics perspective, if a doctor gives just 5 minutes to one person, even that person is just working 24 cross 7, then also he or she will not be able to cover that entire population. So from that perspective, AI can actually help us with personalized care solutions, where actually you can be helped with a diet, you can be helped with the recommendation exercises, which is extremely tailored to your health profile. Third thing that we can think from a detection perspective, that okay, as we are doing this from proactive protection and protection perspective, but when someone is already into that particular stage, what type of solutions we can bring in? So we can actually bring in, the things like AI powered mental health counseling type of things, where we can actually, because once a person is in that particular depression state, or feeling that, okay, I do have nothing to do, people are very biased around me, then at that particular situation, it's a very difficult for that person to talk to someone, share their thoughts, and this is where the fear comes. Like there is a privacy concern that, okay, I don't want to share my individual thoughts. There is a fear of being judged. And in that particular situation, if you are having a personalized app, which can actually hear out your concern and say that, okay, this is good, this is bad, you need to work around this, you need a counseling, that can really help that particular set of
Like
people.
a digital partner.
Exactly.
Digital support.
And finally, the last thing that I would say, that we can actually have the generic data sourced from the hospitals, this type of apps, obviously based on consent, and we can prepare an AI powered dashboard for our government and administration, who can actually see the figures, and based on that can make certain policies which can actually ease the life of our urban professionals. So that is all the solutions that I can think of digitizing AI.
Yeah, great insights. Like technology has a lot of scope that, and there are a lot of startups who are trying to even solve for, like, because when you work in a hybrid setup, how to go for like detecting the early signals. But we'll now have to conclude, but I'll have some like closing remarks first from you, Jabana. What you want to say for these individuals, for all these working professionals here?
Yeah, so my point is, yes, we all are like talking about stress. But then when we're talking about stress, it's not that one size fits all. So the stress, what I'm able to take, maybe it is like different for other professionals. So first and foremost, understanding and acknowledging that you need help is actually very much important. So if you're in need of it, seek for a professional help. That is what I would say. And then eventually when we try to get into that competition and race of that, we try to compete with oneself, thinking that, okay, this is normal, this is fine, we can overcome that. So that shouldn't be the case. So my take on this would is, so as Anand was mentioning about technology, yes, I would say technology is a very powerful ally for the working professionals, which helps manage the responsibilities of the household as well as the career. So that must be used wisely. And then apart from that, having a self-help groups, communities, support networks, where you can be like vulnerable in front of them, you can share your experience and learn from their experiences. So this is actually one way where you can try to be like very inclusive within the community and you can share things. Yeah, these are my thoughts.
Yeah, support groups like these, Anita B, and like a lot of others that are there, please do they have. There's a lot of like power in community. Dinesh, what are your closing thoughts?
So, and this is about, also we spoke about problems, symptoms, solutions. So we need to talk about prevention too. So I think majority of these problems, stress, mental health issues, there's a definite pattern, there is a different reason to it. So what I will say is to all our colleagues sitting out here is, first plan. If you cannot plan, cannot do a future plan for 5 years or 10 years, do go small. Make a plan for 6 months or a 1 year plan. Now, every time there's some challenges thrown at you, the first question you ask is why? Why? and you ask multiple times, like for example, why this is prioritized? Why do you need to this to be delivered in like 1 month of time? Why the other task that was given is deprioritized? So start asking why. Second, ask that question to you, what's in it for me? I think that is the mantra. So you have to take that what's in it for me, marry it with the plan, and then take it forward. So that is the only thing that I wanted to say. Thank you.
Great, great closing thoughts. And one last to do.
All right. So, as a concluding remark, what I would like to say that though urban living is becoming a synonym for rapidly moving and mounting pressure work-life, specifically in urban cities, but anyhow, we have to thrive here, right? So, if we want to seek balance, then we need to foster this personal health, family connection, and community support. And apart from that, the one most important thing that you should, everyone should feel and should understand that we all are unique, and we all have a unique potential in us. There is absolute no need to just copy someone, and just no need to just be like someone else. Find your passion, do what you like, and this is one of the great things that you can do in order to achieve a success. That's all I would say. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you for sharing your insights. I hope we all have some key takeaways. And if any one of you wants to interact, know more about it, the speakers would be available out there. Please do walk up to them and ask your questions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for the informative session. And I know a lot of you have a lot of questions. Please, the speakers will be free to answer them outside the hall. So thank you so much. So to give out the token of appreciation from our side, we call upon Ishida from anidabi.org. Thank you. So put your hands together for a wonderful and informative session that has happened. So a round of applause for this informative session.